welcome to the Fool Podcast. This is our first episode. I'm Chelsea, and this is Brighton.
Hey. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's so good to be here. We're so excited.
We've kind of thought about having Chelsea pull a card at the top of the episode to give us the vibe.
Yeah. Okay, so it's actually kind of funny because in true Chelsea fashion, the star card has come up for me a lot. I actually have 2 stickers on my journal that are the star card. And so that's a card that I pulled while we were just kind of sitting here and hanging out. So the star card is all about peace, tranquility, like being in a space of maybe you've been through a lot of shit and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is a really peaceful period of my life. And it's actually funny because I've been wanting to do the Fool podcast for, I'd say, like 3 years now. And I just wasn't in that space, like that space to be able to create something like this. And it's funny because the star card is very much about kind of making it through a period and coming to a space of relaxation and peace and just maybe basking in the serenity of a new chapter. Yeah, which is like what we're doing.
Could not have said it better myself. The cards figured that out.
I mean, the cards know, right? The cards always know. Which is what this podcast is about. It's about, being called the Fool Podcast. It's about going out, setting out on a journey. Maybe people tell you that's stupid. You shouldn't do that. Why are you doing that? But truly, you're just living based off of your intuition. You're following your intuition. You're following your heart. If you have a relationship with God or source or spirit, you're following what spirit says. And you're not really caring what people say. And the Fool is associated with the trickster archetype, which is very much like somebody who doesn't always, it's like the class clown. It's the coyote. It's the one who's kind of like, forget your rules. I'm going to play by my own rules and I'm going to see what happens. It's kind of like fuck around and find out energy. And that's what this podcast is all about. I think that so much of my life I have had trickster energy or this fool-like energy where I have just gone out and done things and I didn't really have a plan, kind of like what we're doing right now. And it worked out, right? And sometimes I think when spirit speaks to you and it gives you an idea to do something, it doesn't always make sense. And so it's really just about trusting that and following that path and following that journey.
Totally. It was crazy when I came over to your house, you had all of this podcast like set up. She's had this like little location set up for so long. She's had the mic. She's had like every single connecting piece that we've needed. Like it's all been here.
I've just been waiting for you. And honestly, yeah, I just been waiting for you, and here you are. And it's actually funny too because I was like a year ago, actually around this time, I started working for a different company. So we met at work, and I started working for a different company. And like 10 months in, the company that I'm at right now recruited me, and I was like, "What the hell am I doing?" Mm-hmm. Like I just started this company, things are going good, I like it here, but I need to head out on a new journey. It was the path of the Fool. Like, something's telling me this is stable and this is good, but something's telling me to go this direction. And then I came to this new company and then we met and I'm like, I want to start a podcast. And you're like, I do podcasts. So
and now we're fools together.
Naturally. And I'm just like, don't you feel like, I don't know, personally I feel like I've met the coolest people through work.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not people that you would meet normally and you just get plopped in this like environment and then you find these common interests and you just vibe out of like survival.
Totally. I think it's out of survival. I think also like work has a way of like
trauma bonding.
Well, trauma bonding, but also like I don't have the same personality type as like a finance bro.
Right. Totally.
And like I'm in marketing, so it's like I'm gonna meet like-minded people and like similar personalities in job roles that I do, like Chelsea's events. So it's like, she's of course gonna have all this put together. But
it's all about the experience, like the curation of the vibe and the experience. And I love to plan. It's just I think one thing that I really learned in my life is that there was so much of my life that I was trying to do everything on my own and I was getting so overwhelmed. And so finding like-minded people who have similar interests that I can lean on and we can collaborate makes things so much easier for my personality type, my ADHD.
Totally.
Which is like a huge topic at work. Like, how is it that everyone in marketing has ADHD?
I think it makes good marketers.
I think it does make good marketing. I don't understand why people are medicating themselves. But like, listen, you know, do what you got to do. But I'm gonna stay crazy, and chaotic because it's fun.
Totally. It's star energy. It's star energy.
It's star energy. Yeah. Well, star energy is like a little calmer than that, but. I mean, we are the main characters. Like, tell me ADHD people aren't the main characters.
No, yeah. I would say that. I would definitely say that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want you to tell me about this giant plant that's behind you.
Okay.
Wait,
Sorry, I don't want my cat to drink your water supply. Kind of gross. Sage likes to make it. Sage is trickster energy. Sometimes I think she's a raccoon, and then one time she was fighting with a raccoon too. I was like asleep.
Sage.
And I woke up and they were
very
like
becoming
in the window fighting each other. Anyway,
Sage.
it's crazy out here.
Sage.
Yeah. So this plant is Queen. This plant, I've had for almost 10 years, and it's funny because it's actually the only video that's gone viral on my Instagram, which, like, I have videos, like, my boobs and ass are out, but, like, no one cares. But, like, me repotting a plant in, like, sweatpants, everyone. So, like, I get it now. I'm like, okay, you guys want plant content. I'm so sorry. But I've had her for, like I said, 10 years, and she's just been one of those reflections for me. Like, I got her in a different phase of my life, and as I transitioned into, I was in a relationship at that time, I transitioned to being like this single woman, and this was like one of the only plants. I mean, this plant actually came with me too, but for some reason I just had such a strong connection and emphasis on this plant, and it was just as I was growing in my life, it was like I was repotting her and she was growing, and I was growing and she was growing, and now she's just massive. And I just really look at her as like a representation of my own growth on my own journey.
Like, what a cool reminder. I think that, like, so much of, like, spirituality and things that connect you to, like, what's around you is, like, symbols.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, I mean, I walk around your house and there's, like, crystals everywhere. And I feel like the side of it is just as powerful as, like, the energy that's stored inside of it, as well as, like, this whole symbol of, like, this, like, growth and coming out of something that was harder and, like, blooming into this, like, new person.
Yeah. I think everything in our life is mirrors. And I think if we look at things as mirrors, it allows us to see more so what is happening from a clear perspective as opposed to, like, what is happening to us, or just looking at things so separate. Like, everything is so interconnected, you know. Without the sun, we don't have plants. We need oxygen. We need rain. Like, we need so many different things to create environments. And I think our life is the same way. We look at people and it's like, well, this person came into my life and they left my life and they're supposed to be in my life forever. But it's like, that's not the way that things work. Like, everything is so interconnected and intertwined. It's like a web. And we need certain aspects of people and experiences to weave our own lives.
Totally. It's so interesting that you say that. I feel like I've been in, like, the last, like, year of my life, maybe year or two, I've been in this, like, shedding is the wrong word, but, like, not really.
Letting go.
Yeah. Just
Wait,
like,
are you in your Saturn return? Or you're...
yeah, I just turned 27.
You just turned... Wait. But have you looked up, like, your chart?
Should I be looking at my chart?
Yeah. Like, you should look up... Because, okay, so everyone typically goes through their Saturn return between, like... But it can happen, like, 29 to 32, 27 to 29.
Okay.
It depends on your specific chart. And when Saturn's coming back around in your chart. But
could it have been earlier?
I don't know.
Because I feel crazy, but it had to have happened like 2 years ago.
I don't know. Maybe we should look up. We'll look it up and we'll keep you guys posted. But a Saturn return is like when you are experiencing, because what I'm maybe assuming is, so Saturn returns will put you back on your right path. So in my Saturn return, I left a 9-year relationship. I started doing tarot card readings. I really started realizing that, like, my work was to help people. And prior to my Saturn return, I wasn't doing any of those things. If I would have continued to stay in that relationship, it would have been a very unhealthy and unfulfilling relationship. And so there were certain things that I had to do and moves that I had to make in order to get me to where I am here. And that's the Saturn return. But the Saturn return is so transformational that there could be a pre-shadow period that is actually getting you ready for putting you in the proper position. And so if you were experiencing like a lot of shedding or a lot of letting go, then that's because you're getting positioned into where you're supposed to be going, and it's more aligned with your purpose. But people feel lost in these periods too.
I'm like, the pre-shadow period for like a more intense transformation will kill me.
No.
It's gonna dry. It's gonna dry. No, but I do think that was the case. I think I was just in like a weird place for a long time, and I feel like there's so much I needed to learn and so much I needed to do, and I guess so much that I needed to shed to be able to like be into the place that I am now. I need to look at that damn chart because it's like,
we gotta look, we gotta see. Yeah. But it's so interesting because as I've gone more into these practices, there's so many different charts and like just so much stuff that plays into our lives. And even though I went through a Saturn return when I was like, I don't know, 28, 29, 30, 31, whatever that period was, it set me on this like new trajectory, but that didn't mean that later there weren't periods that were really dark and transformational as well. Mm-hmm. And that's different. Like that's called a dark night of the soul. And dark nights of the soul are typically when you're experiencing an ego breakdown, which our egos are created for. It's the way that our humanness makes sense for survival. And that's what creates your ego. It's a way that humans have survived in the world. But when your soul wants you to change, it will disrupt your ego, which will cause a dark night of the soul so that you can shed certain things so that you can get back in alignment with what your soul's purpose is. So if you're too attached to something, like for example, you might be so attached to a certain image that you have. Mm. Something can happen in your life, if it's part of your soul purpose, to disrupt that image. And that is a dark night of the soul because you're having to let go of ego attachments. When you're letting go of ego attachments, you feel like you're dying. Literally feel like you're dying because a part of you is dying off. But then after the dark night of the soul, if you can continue on the trajectory and come out on the other side, you're in more alignment with your soul purpose and you have less attachments. So sometimes when you're on a spiritual journey, you'll go through a lot of dark nights of the soul because your soul wants you to remain aligned with your purpose here on this planet.
So interesting.
Which is wild because I'm like, what are we even doing here?
And I'm like purpose.
Yeah, like I get that I have a purpose, but I'm like, who said? Like
who picked it? And do I get a say?
Did I get a say? Did I know? Like I don't know. I believe in God, and so like I feel like God has like some sort of, I don't know, like purpose situation. But
it's interesting that you say this, like death of your, like a mini ego death.
Yeah,
basically, like
it
all the
is
time.
an ego death.
I feel like I experience that once a month.
Yeah. Oh, yes. No, that's your cycle. Literally, women are on a 26 to like 30 day, which is funny. That's like the Saturn return.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
There's probably some connection there. Like I think I just broke like through a barrier. Like
honestly, I'm literally in my first luteal phase since turning 27.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's why I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah, that might be why you feel like you're dying. But honestly, I mean, here's the deal. Like, it's funny because I've lived so much of my life trying to avoid the hard moments, the dark moments, the luteal phase, the depression. And I just think that like when I do come out on the other side, yes, it was dark. Yes, it was hard. I hated the dark nights of the soul. I've had like 5 of them, I feel like by now. But when I make it out on the other side, it feels like I'm that much happier, that much brighter, that much more aligned. And I think that what happens is, you know, I've talked to some friends about this, is that, you know, it's when we don't allow ourselves to learn the lessons or to have the experience to make it out on the other side, you could potentially get in situations where you never escape it. Mm-hmm. But the beautiful thing about having like a period as a woman is that we do get to go through a death every single month, and it is dark and it is uncomfortable, and we are shedding. We're literally shedding the uterine lining. And that is like a death and a rebirth. And I think like it's funny because I'm not religious, but I love the teachings of Christ. And part of that is because it's the resurrection. We all go through multiple deaths in our lives, and we're able to be reborn and resurrected again. And women go through it every single month. There's multiple cultures, not only Christianity, that talk about this death and this rebirth. In shamanic practices, same thing. You literally will go through a death and they'll bring you out on the other side. And that is how sometimes you are able to even become a shaman, is by going through those, what's it called? Like your initiations. And so we go through initiations every single month as women, but unfortunately we live in a society where no one tells us that. No one helps us through. We can't take work off. We have to operate like men. We aren't men. You know, we want to just be in our room and cry for 3 days. We have to function in this society. And it makes it really difficult for us. Yeah. And I think that the more that we can talk about it, we can connect and, you know, just like acknowledge like this is a death and I'm mourning. Your body's literally mourning not having a baby, which is like crazy. Like I'm just like,
which is crazy because my brain's never mourned that.
There's like a brain body disconnect. But yeah, I mean, it's a mourning every month of like, you're experiencing grief and loss, and then you're coming out on the other side and you're happy again.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so true. I feel like my personality being re-injected into my veins once I'm out of that phase of it.
But I think that, you know, the biggest thing that a tip of advice, because I have PMDD, we've talked about this. You have it too, right?
I do.
Which is like extreme PMS. I get really low. Like sometimes it's not like I'm thinking like, oh, I want to like take my life, but I'll just be driving and be like, if that bus took my life, like I think I'd be okay. And I'm not trying to like joke. I'm like,
no, it's not a laughing matter.
It's not a laughing matter of anyone taking their life. It's just like the laughter comes from like how wild it is that I feel that way. And then after my period starts, I'm like, I don't want any bus to like
buses can steer clear.
Please. And so it is really like an intense hormone drop. And I think that the biggest thing that you can do is love yourself, honor where you are, nurture your body with good foods, with rest, with being around good people. And just, I use 2 different period syncing apps that I can like see when everything that's going on, so that I know that if I'm feeling really low, I just need to spend extra time and care with myself and cry. But everyone in my life knows I crash out once a month, literally.
I feel like I'm in this phase where I'm having to like brace people. I'm like, once a month I'm going to turn evil and I'm going to come out of it and we're going to come out of it.
Yes. And I think that we need to accept that about each other too. I was talking to some friends yesterday. We went on a hike and we were coming home and I was like, you know, it's wild because I really like in friendships and in my life, I really want friendships where I can just show up as I am, where I am. Mm-hmm. I have a really good friend, shout out to Mariah that owns the block, and her and I literally, it's Pilates studio, by the way.
Oh,
yeah, we should go. But there was like last summer, we were both really going through it, and it was so nice to just be able to have a friend to just go to the park and cry. And we didn't have to like put on a face to show up for each other. We just text each other, I'm struggling right now. And even if one of us was like crashing out, we were like there. And we're like, okay, I'm here. Like, I got you. And it just was really nice because I think that, at least for me, a lot of my life, I felt like I needed to be really perfect. So sometimes I would isolate myself because I didn't want to be imperfect in front of people. And that's a very lonely
I'm hitting
experience.
That wall.
You can't. You just gotta crash out.
I'm hitting the wall.
Can we be grateful for Instagram making like crash out popular?
Oh, totally.
Now we can just like crash out and it'll be fine.
Do you remember when Bella Hadid posted those selfies of her crying like however many months?
I didn't see that.
That's how I feel though. Like once a month, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm posting my Bella Hadid selfie.
And I think the people around us need to know, like, that's okay. Like the people around me know. My sister does my hair, and unfortunately,
is your sister a hairstylist?
Yeah, she is.
My sister's a hairstylist.
What?
How did we not know this?
I didn't know that.
My mother's a hairstylist. I come from a long line of cosmetologists.
My mom was a hairstylist too.
What?
Wait, that's crazy. Synchronicity.
Okay, what else?
I know. I don't know. That's wild. I feel like we did talk about this because you're not a natural redhead, even though you look like a natural
Thank you so much for saying that. So not natural. My sister did my hair this weekend.
Mm-hmm. It looks really good.
Thank you so much.
Oh, hey. This is our co-host, Sage.
Hi, Sage.
Oh, she's rubbing up against the She said, hey.
Sage.
Sage, why don't you just lay down? Just chill, girl. Just chill, girl. She thinks I'm her mom, so.
No, I love it. Yeah. Okay, but I have to tell, the first time that I was let into Chelsea's Woo Woo was on our on-site. We both work in corporate America, unfortunately. Yeah. And shout out to my boss, though. Love that guy. Yeah. Seriously, love that guy.
No, yeah.
We went on this company offsite and we went to that hike in Moab. Yes. And obviously you would plan the whole thing because that's your thing. Yeah, you're the planner. And it was so amazing and so beautiful. And we get to the bottom of this hike and she's like, yeah, we're going to carry up these giant crystal bowls. Everyone take a turn.
Yeah.
And obviously, also because we work in corporate America, there's a bunch of men who want to prove to each other how buff and strong they are.
They literally were fighting over who would carry the 50-pound back sound bowls so that they could prove who was stronger. Which,
and it was tough.
That's good because I don't want to carry it.
I don't want to carry it.
I'm playing the bowls. You guys, you figure it out.
It's true.
As long as you're the artist to be involved, you guys can show how strong you are. Honestly, I just feel like men should just keep doing that and we just sit back. Can men just show how hard they can work to pay all of our bills while we just relax?
It's like the feminism leaving my body once there's a heavy object to carry.
Yes, literally.
No, but okay, so we carry, she's like, first you were like, we have this wagon. We can carry everything up in this wagon. We're scaling the side of a mountain. There's
no way. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
No way it was gonna work.
There's no way it was gonna work.
But then we get the bowls all the way up to the top, and and I'll have to put pictures in when I'm at
Yes, we have videos. But
we you put out all of these bowls, and and I'd never experienced a sound bath before, and I was honestly nervous because as an overthinker, anxious person as well, I actually just recently got a carnelian necklace, but I can only wear it every now and again because seriously, my brain goes crazy when I'm wearing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I love it so much, and it's red, and I'm trying to make red my color.
Okay,
it's working on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're sitting there, and I was nervous because, and you had said this, you were like, sometimes it's a little harder if you can't lock in. It's like a practice in meditation on top of so many other things. And I'm also with our corporate work group. And it's I was intrigued on how my brain was going to be able to unravel itself a little bit in that scenario. However, you sat down, you started playing the first bowl. And once again, my soul left my body. We were underneath Corona Arch as well.
Which I've been there before. And I'll tell you, the energy there is so potent.
Totally.
While I was playing the bowls, I had to breathe because I felt like I was gonna float away. I was gonna blast off. I don't know where.
That's how it felt.
I don't know where.
Seriously. Yeah. I was literally clinging more to the rock than I ever had before because I was I'm going to fly off of this rock and they're not gonna be able to get me down.
No, we were just gonna be gone. They got abducted. I don't even know.
It was amazing. And then I had to sit up and look at my boss's face again, shout out to that guy. But it was so interesting how truly I felt you would create an atmosphere in which my brain could unravel a little.
Yeah.
It was powerful, and now I'm so obsessed with the thought of a sound bath and sound in general, but also energies and how group energies can work. Anyway, I feel I'm just peeling back the first layer of the onion that you grew yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. And I think one of the things I thought that was so cool about that experience is not only even though the guys were competing to carry the bowls, it's cool to see people working in community towards one common goal. So it's our goal is to get these sound bowls here so that we can have a sound bath. But then in addition to that, it was so cool because this is a public place, a public hike. And I was worried. I'm are people going to be annoyed? And then I'm sitting over here playing bowls.
That was so special.
And I look up because I kind of close my eyes when I play my bowls. And I look up and there's just 30 people, including kids on a field trip that were sitting there completely silent watching me play these bowls under this arch. And it was, honestly, I've been playing bowls for 4 years now. The coolest experience I've ever had playing bowls.
And I got to be there.
And you got to be there. You were front stage.
I was front stage.
You were.
Wow.
And I just think that there's so much power in meditation. I think there's so much power in sound and frequency. And it's interesting because you can tell a group to like be quiet all you want, but it's the energy of like the actual like energy of like a presence that can actually silence a room. And I feel like that's what happened because no one said, shh, be quiet.
Yeah.
They just heard the bowls. And it was just this like unsaid respect. And it was just a really beautiful experience. One of our coworkers cried.
Oh,
which
definitely.
is like, it's just like so cool because it just creates, like a beautiful space.
Do you feel like that is the star energy? I'm still trying to like pin like what would that sound have been star energy to you, or like what's do you have like an example of a person who carries star energy? Is it yourself?
You know, I carry so much energy. I would say I probably carry more trickster energy than I do star energy, which is kind of just the funny, you know, like I'm always like satire at work and kind of just like the class clown, the personality.
That's us. That's our job. We have to.
I can call myself a personality hire, but if someone else calls me a personality hire, I'm like, bitch, I'm planning a conference for 400 fucking people, okay? I might be a personality hire, but I'm actually good at what I do,
I'm doing my job.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
It's so true.
No, the star card is like, okay, picture this. It's 5 p.m. on a Sunday, and you're like walking through a park, and the sun is like coming down. Maybe it's like more like dusk. It's like the sun's kind of going down. It's golden hour. You see dragonflies, butterflies, birds are chirping. Maybe you did like a crazy like workout that morning or had a crazy day, and then now all of a sudden you're walking, there's swans in the lake, your feet are on the grass, you're basking in the sun, and you just feel at peace. That's the star card. Yeah?
I'm envious of the star card.
You can have this. You've had the star card before.
Like I've portrayed
Yeah, you've had to have an experience in your life of the star card.
You know what's crazy? Okay, not to drop Mormon lore. Not that I even want to.
Let's do it.
But
do what we gotta do.
On my mission, it's crazy to say, most chaotic, hectic days, all day. You're walking around the street. You're like talking to whoever you can. Literally like just the craziest days ever. My favorite time of the day was exactly what you're describing. Yeah. Not that there were swans in the Amazon, but like there were like crocodiles, and for some reason they were like more chill at that time.
Yeah. Crocodiles are actually super chill. I was just in like Myrtle Beach, and we took the ferry over to Bulls Island where there's just random crocodiles or gators or whatever. What's the difference between alligator and crocodile?
No idea.
Okay.
One will see you later and one will see you in Hawaii.
Is that what they say? Oh, because see you later, alligator. Oh, I'm kind of slow. But wait, what was it? Oh, yeah, but like they just sit there. They don't even come after you.
No, they kind of don't.
They just like chill. But yeah, okay, we should read what it says. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you were in the Amazon, did you ever like hear about ayahuasca? While you were on your Mormon mission? No. Where were you at?
Literally the Amazon. I was in Manaus. It's like the city
like
that sits on the Amazon. No, in Brazil. I was in the northern part of Brazil.
Okay.
But I had never heard of like plant medicine. I swear to you, I made one blue-haired friend in college, and after that,
one blue-haired friend. It's always the blue-haired friend.
The blue-haired friend.
I've never had a different hair color, but it's always the blue-haired friend.
I felt like I learned about. Like, she just, like, opened my world. And then I went on mission, I came home, and I was like, oh, my gosh, ayahuasca? Like, my friend's parents are doing ayahuasca. My friend, like, I had never... Anyway, what's your experience with it? I'm so curious.
Oh, my gosh. My experience with ayahuasca... Well, it's funny. Did you notice how we were at lunch today? And our boss is, like, asking all these different questions. She's like, you said you, like, done a lot of work. What does that entail? I'm like
plant medicine.
Plant medicine. Like, honestly, like I think earlier in my career or just like earlier on the path, I felt very scared to like share that I did plant medicine because I didn't want my leaders or my bosses to like think that I'm just out here doing drugs or just like recreationally doing things. But I think now I'm so much more open because I believe in it. I believe in mushrooms are medicine. I believe ayahuasca is medicine. And it's funny, I have people who laugh at like when I say the medicine and they're like, haha. And it's like, no, it's medicine. Like it really is. If people want to use things recreationally, you know, sure. But even sometimes when you use like mushrooms recreationally, it's giving you the gift. My experience with ayahuasca was, I mean, it was beautiful. It's funny because for me, when I actually went to Peru and I sat with ayahuasca, that was an easier experience than me coming back and integrating back into the world. And people say that ayahuasca is like so life-changing. That was another dark night of the soul, like dark night light after Aya. And, you know, like I said, I cried a lot. I had a lot of, you know, thoughts about my childhood. I connected with my higher self. I connected with ancestors, past loved ones. And it was just a very beautiful, heart-opening experience for me. I felt so soft. I felt so feminine. But what happened was, I think I did tap into this feminine side of me that I hadn't experienced before because I grew up with a single mom. I was super like hyper independent, hyper masculine, and kind of looked at my dad as like this example of like just like working really hard. And that was the energy I embodied. So I get dropped back into my life feeling the most softest and feminine I've ever felt in my entire life. But I've created a masculine life. I have 2 homes, tons of bills, have been like incredibly, luckily, like successful, but maintaining that success in this world is hard. Like it required being a single woman, having the lifestyle and the work and the life that I do is difficult. And I realized like how much I needed people, how much I was operating my masculine, how much I had hardened myself. And Aya took all of these shields off of me. And then now all of a sudden I'm just in this world and I'm soft and I have no idea how to be this new version of myself and a life that I've created as a very like hard version of myself. I needed so much more rest. I needed to honor the cycles and the rhythms of my body. And I didn't know how to do that in the life that I created for myself. And I didn't really have anyone to lean on. My whole life, it's really just been me. And that was incredibly difficult for me to even know how to navigate in that space. Plus, I'm like, had all these, you know, emotions come up. You're talking like 33 years of, you know, a lot of emotions that were just stored and hid away that are now coming to the surface. I can't even control it anymore. I opened something up in me. So not only am I like grieving and healing and crying and then soft and all these different things, but then I'm still required to like work and make money and maintain my house and taxes. Don't get me started on taxes. That's like that was the hardest part of it all. And I think you just, when you experience these medicines, you realize what life really is. And not that like making money and taxes and those things aren't important, but there's like, life is so much more than that. It's so much more about human connection and love and experiences. And so some of those things just feel so hard and mundane because they just like don't feel like they matter that much, but they do matter. Like you'll go to jail if you don't pay taxes.
You'll literally go to jail.
Literally,
you'll have no food on your table if you don't run your 9 to 5.
Totally. But I do think that we are shifting to a more of a matriarchal society where we are being respected and honored as women for the gifts that we do have, as opposed to like needing to operate and be like men. More jobs that are focused on creativity, like podcasts. You know, you can make money talking, you can make money making art, where, you know, in the 90s, it was like you're a struggling artist. Now there's artists who make a lot of money. You have musicians and, you know, so I think that we're shifting in this world to kind of move from this hustle culture to understand that there's so many more ways to make money and to survive. And it doesn't have to be working 3 jobs, you know?
Yeah. I think like operating so much from like a scarcity mindset in my life, like especially financially, I'm always like, it's harder for me to like want to accept that. Does that make sense? But I mean, I guess it's not hard for me to want to accept that, but like it's hard for me to like actually accept that, because my brain totally, like, I would love to be in the arts the rest of my life and just like talk with my friends and figure out how to make a livelihood that way. And I honestly do agree. I do feel like there's been like a little bit of a shift of like, okay, what do you as a person bring to the table? Like, it's not so much about like ones and zeros anymore.
It's also hard with like our job too, as I think that our leader, like, I love him, and you know, he would know this, is like he wants us to work really, really, really hard. And I think that sometimes it feels like the work that we're producing is our worthiness. But I think it's up to us to remind ourselves that like my worthiness comes from just who I am, not the work that I produce. The work that I produce is just a bonus in addition to just who I am as a person, my skills. You don't have to work hard to be successful. You have to work smart. And I think that more people just like need to understand that. Like, my dad is a perfect example of somebody who had 2 jobs my entire life. He worked 80 hours a week. He's the hardest worker. He never took a day off. He got an award for never having like a sick day. Crazy. Just like, what? Isn't that, do you see what you get rewarded for?
Yeah.
And the thing is that like, I now make more money than he ever made. Partially part of that is just like, you know, the world that we live in now. And it doesn't, just working really hard doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. It's really about working smarter, which I hate to even bring up AI, because like I know we're both so over it, but like I think that's what AI is kind of here to show us too, is to work smarter, not harder, so that we can come back to our humanness and come back to the things that are really important and really matter.
In a way, maybe AI is like the world's like ego death.
No, literally.
And then we have to realign with our purpose afterward.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually feel that. Like, I actually think that. Because if you think about it, it's going to be really hard as like we're adjusting. But if you think about it, once we adjust, we've been through tons of adjustments, like coal to gas or horse and buggy to car, like whatever it is, you know, gas to electricity, like we evolve as humans. This is probably just like one of the most historic things that we'll experience in our lifetime. But at the end of the day, we're going to adapt and we're going to evolve. And the hope is that it can bring us back to like actually more realness, to connection, to the things that really matter, and then let AI do that other stuff that doesn't matter. But it's going to take a lot of adjustment. And that's life in general. That is what an ego death is. It's where your purpose and your place doesn't really matter anymore, and you literally fall apart because you don't know who you are and you don't know what your point and your purpose is. And then you go through some dark nights, and then you come out and you're like, oh, this is my new purpose, and this is a purpose that's way more aligned with who I want to be versus like what it was before. And that's what the world's going through with AI.
A rebirth.
Christ.
Luteal phase.
Periods. Crash out.
No, seriously, crash out is essentially what we learned today.
Essentially today what we've learned is crash out.
Is there anything else that's like pressing your soul? I want you to like listen to your intuition. Like, what do we need to hear today?
I think if there's anything that I guess this is kind of tied and connected to the podcast, but I think I would encourage people to be still more. And that stillness means no phone, no TV, no distractions, just sitting in nature, staring at a tree, and just being still. And at first it might be uncomfortable because you're going to want to feel the space, fill the gaps. That's, again, tying back to a dark night of the soul. You don't want to be there. You want to fill the space. You want to go out. You want to party. You want to do whatever you're doing to not feel what you're feeling. But if you allow yourself the opportunity to be in the empty space, you can create a relationship with it, and you can create clearance, like letting go, like emptying your hands, so that then you have the opportunity to be more connected, to understand that what's coming in, if it's good for you or not. If we're constantly thinking and doing and moving and all of those different things, we don't have the opportunity to tap into ourselves to say, what is it that I really want? So be still, embrace the void, create the connection with your higher power or whatever it is, and then you'll allow what's meant for you next to come in from a very aligned space, as opposed to just, kind of flying a plane with no pilot.
Do you think it's possible? I was talking to somebody yesterday who said that like what's meant for you won't miss you. What do you think about that? Because I do think that there have been times in my life where great opportunities have come along that like I wasn't in the right place to like receive them. Does that mean it just wasn't meant for me? Because I do think that like seeing it come my way, it felt meant for me, and then it walked away.
What people mean by that, and what I do think is true, is that our life is a spiral and everything always comes back around. If there is something that is for you, like your relationship, it will come back around when you're ready for it.
It's so true.
You can choose the path of least resistance, or you can create a much harder life by whatever it is, whatever obstacles that you're creating in your own life, and you can miss it multiple times. But if you can get out of your own way, you can clear your mind, you can allow it to come to you sooner. Maybe some people never have the opportunity. Maybe it does continuously pass them and come around 100 times. I don't know. But I do know that for us in our own lives, if everything always comes back around. And so you really don't need to be in, you could say, a scarcity mindset of, feeling like you're going to miss out on something. When you're ready, it will be ready too, and it will come. But you can create your own suffering and resistance along the path, for sure. For sure.
That makes so much sense. I think people so often, especially myself, I can speak from my own perspective of like, whenever I would hear like what goes around comes around, or like it'll come back around to you, it was always like, don't be mean to your sister, or like, don't be mean to whoever. But I totally understand what you're saying, because I have experienced that. Like in my relationship, we missed each other so many times until it felt
we were ready.
Yeah, until we were ready.
Karma's actually, it's funny, karma is actually real. Like, what goes around comes around. Because life is a mirror, life is like a boomerang. And I think it's important to just be conscious of that, and not in a guilt way. I think so many people use guilt to try to get people to act in a way that's in accordance with what they want. Nothing is really right or wrong or good or bad. It just is. We're just perceiving it to be a certain way. So if you're mean to your sister and your parents are like, it's going to come back around, she's going to be mean to you, and then she's mean to you, you're like, because you're perceiving it. But like, really, someone being mean is just that. It's just someone being mean. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's how we perceive it. And it's funny because, there's this guy that I talk to, and I like so much about him because he's like very real. And some people could perceive that as being mean, and other people could like perceive that as like being real. But to me, it's not mean, because I like truth, I like depth, and I like honesty, and I don't need sugarcoating. It's like how people say people in New York are mean, and people here are fake. It's like, it's just how you perceive it. Some people like things like straightforward. Some people like things sugar-coated. It just depends, and it just is. And so you can create your own karma, is basically what I'm saying, by the way you perceive things.
And I think it comes at a place of security for so much of my life, and probably still. I think only now I've like recognized that it's a problem, but like operating from a place of insecurity, anything that anybody says to you
perceive it from the lens of the insecurity.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm only just now clocking like, oh, I don't think that person was actually mean to me. I don't think I was, it was my,
And that is projection. And we can talk about that. Next time we should talk about projection and shadow work.
I'm so down.
So down. Yay.
What a great log.
Fun. We're so good.
I know we are. Get out there and make your own karma.
Yeah. I love it.